So this morning we're going to talk about hill climbing and low cadence reps up hills. So this type of training is actually probably, I think, the single most effective training you can do to improve your triathlon cycling. So what you want to do is you want to find a hill that's probably, between 3 and 5% gradient, not too steep, and where you can actually hold good form and good posture. So what you're looking at doing is getting it into a gear that you can maintain about a 50 to 60 RPM. Alright, so 50 to 60 RPM, and we're looking at about, intervals anywhere from sort of 5 minutes to 15 minutes, and our intensity around 80% and above of max heart rate. So if you're on a road bike like I am this morning, the key is keeping your upper body nice and relaxed, so there's minimal movement in your upper body as possible. So what I'm doing here this morning is I've got it in a reasonably hard gear, but I'm hardly touching the bars. One way you can even make that a little bit harder is just do it with one finger, just so you're really focusing on engaging your glutes, keeping that upper body nice and still. Okay, so that's one way. Another way, if you're on a road bike, is you're getting on the hoods. Again, but you're hardly gripping the hoods, you're just keeping your hands nice and relaxed. So all the power, momentum and force production is through your legs and your glutes. Right? Alternatively, you can get down on the drops. So if you don't have a time trial bike, this sort of awning in some ways simulates being on a TT bike. Now if you're on a TT bike, get in the TT position and climb the hill in a TT position, so you're actually building that specific strength when you're in a time trial position and racing. So the key is to keep the upper body nice and loose, nice and relaxed, keep your breathing under control, and focus on that low cadence big gear work. And what this type of work does is it improves your ability to hold power, your force production over a long period of time. So what I recommend, if you're on a road bike, you might do one rep sitting up tall like this, sitting up nice and tall, then come down to another rep sitting on your hoods, then another rep down on your drops. Okay, and you alternate and go back, sitting up tall, onto the hoods, onto the drops. And if you're on a TT bike, you stay in that TT position the whole time. You might want to go out onto the wings, do something a little bit different, sit up. Just by varying your position, just ever so slightly changing the emphasis on the different muscle groups, but the main point is keeping that upper body nice and loose, nice and relaxed, no tension up top. If you're tense up top, it takes away the ability to produce power and force in your legs. So if you're a beginner type triathlete, you might be doing 5 minutes and 2 or 3 reps. If you're more sort of intermediate to advanced, you're going up anywhere from sort of 10 minutes to 20 minutes, depending on what type of hill you can find. And again, you're looking at about that 80% to 90% of your max heart rate, but trying to keep it more aerobic than anaerobic. So you're not going too hard. So the longer the rep goes, you're better off sitting around that sort of 80, 83, 84% of your max heart rate. So you can talk, but it'd be more short sentences. So I'm probably sitting at about 70 to 75% of my max now. And in a real rep I'd be going a little bit harder. And in terms of how many reps, well, let's just say you're doing a rep of 10 minutes, you get to a certain point, or you want to know that you can get to that same point again in 10 minutes. If the next rep takes you 10 and a half to 11, you probably stop there. So you want to keep the effort, the power and the intensity so you can hit the same point each time. So if you're doing 5 reps, they're all about the same outcome in terms of, okay, each of those 5 reps, you got to that same point in 10 minutes. Now your Intensity may have to go up a bit to hold that, but don't let it go up significantly. So you've got a power meter, great. But I would say maybe 20-25% of triathletes have power meters. I don't have a power meter, and I don't really use a heart rate monitor. I go a lot by feel and gut instinct. But the key for this session is consistent output, anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes, low cadence, so putting it in a hard gear, upper body nice and relaxed, and just grinding away. This type of work, like I said, I think the single most effective session to really benefit your ability to hold power over a long period of time in a race. That's what triathlon cycling is about. It's about getting to the run in the best shape as you can so you can run effectively, and having the ability to be strong and hold consistent power is the key, especially in long course. And these type of sessions are magic, really, really beneficial. So in our next video, we'll talk about more your high-powered, shorter, steeper hills and the benefit that they offer. Different type of training, but also very effective. But I believe this type of training is probably the best you can do in terms of improving your strength and your endurance. And this is actually the Noosa Hill for the famous Noosa Triathlon. It's about 3k in length, but perfect gradient and place to do this type of work. Alright, time for me to get going.